Hey everybody, and welcome back to Psychology Geek. In today's video, we are talking about 15 psychological facts that will blow your mind. Before we get straight into the video, please subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Psychology looks at the science of mind and behaviour. Following 15 psychological facts could explain some facts and things you see in yourself or in others. Taking control. Your behaviour mostly depends on your surrounding, that is your environment. Let's take an example here. Let's say that you and your friend or your colleague had a fight and now he wants to make things right with you. He's asking you to forgive him. It is totally depending on you if you want to make things right. And forget whatever happened between you and your friend. It is totally under your control. Everything in your environment, including sight, smell and sound, influences your action and your decisions, and moreover, your own personality. Different studies have shown that your personality explains less than 10% of your behaviour. The world around you is totally under your control, so as your behaviour and your decisions. Having control on yourself and your behaviour can make it easy for you to make decisions. You can choose what kind of person you want to be. Faulty judgments. We live in a society where people know what psychology is, but there are very few of them who actually understand it. Many studies have shown that people are very terrible in understanding their own psychology. In 1977, the researchers asked the two groups of people to watch a movie, and when they finished, to rate the movie out of 10. One group watched the movie in silence, while the other group were constantly interrupted by loud, irritating noises. Both of the groups give their feedbacks. Naturally, the second group disliked the movie more than the first group. In result, not a single person mentioned the loud noise in the background. In short, we make our own judgments and try to justify it. But most of the explanation or judgments we make are misguided and wrong. So it's better to first understand your own psychology and then make judgments. Decisions and unconscious mind. Unconscious mind does very heavy lifting when it comes to decision making. For example, if you want to buy a new computer or laptop, you may do your research and you ask around for opinions. It's your unconscious mind that does the processing of all this new information. It's a bad thing your kind is assaulted with thousands of pieces of new information every day, and your unconscious mind processes those as well. The human brain has evolved so that this part of you does a lot of work for you, so don't be afraid to trust your guts once in a while. We're bad at predicting the future. We are bad at predicting how we would act in future predicaments. You can say what you think you would do or what would happen next. Let us take an example here. If you win a lottery or some other unwilling event happens, it is unlikely that you can predict your emotional state with a kind of accuracy. Here's why. Even though you may experience highs and lows in your emotional, such as the death of a family member or you get a promotion, the human brain has the capacity to stabilize your emotions and your level of happiness. So you may think you'd be endlessly happy after receiving a large amount of money, but eventually that elevation would leave. This way of thinking can also influence our buying habits and product feedback, even though these changes to material possessions probably won't involve our lives all that much. Universal imagination. Try to imagine an object in your mind. Choose something simple like a flower pot and picture that flower pot to the best of your ability. Everyone may be picturing a slightly different object, but there is one thing we all have in common. Unconsciously, our brain imagines every object from the same perspective. Psychologists call it canonical perspective, and it is your brain's preferred vantage point for just about everything. Instead of looking directly above or directly below an object, we imagine that object rotated down to a few degrees, so that we can see the object's most indefinable features. No one can think about your imagination as a universal human trait, but preferences like this one reveal just how much of our minds have in common. Negativity gene. Have you ever met someone who thinks negative in every situation? As we know, that negativity stems from an array of psychological places. There are some people who are not satisfied with their lives, job, or some are struggling in bad relationships. Negativity has nothing to do with their state of mind. A study discovered an unusual genetic disposition to negative thinking. In the study, the participants were shown pictures of mountains and waterfalls, which most people found peaceful or charming. But people with a predisposition for negativity possess these peaceful images as dangerous, alarming. Negativity can be overcome with positive habits and a healthy change in the environment. But if you have the negative gene, your bad moods may be part of who you are. However, you can control this as well by not letting your negative thoughts overcome your positive. It is difficult for some people to have the ability to do this, and they choose to think positive every time, never letting their negative thoughts affect their behaviour or their surroundings. Healthy intellectual sarcasm. Being sarcastic is a good thing, and it is a complicated means of communication as well. To apply sarcasm, your brain needs to master a variety of complex cognitive skills like problem solving and abstract reasoning. It is a complicated process, often a sign of cognitive intelligence. Being sarcastic can improve the health of your brain and also make you active. We can say that being sarcastic is a sign of intelligence. Studies shown that sarcastic people are more creative and are quick. However, sometimes sarcasm can be insulting. People can get offended from their sarcastic points. Their sarcasm may make them unlikable, but they excel at thinking out of the box. Biologically, sarcastic comments require quite a bit of brain function. You have to instantly understand tone, meaning, and perspective, then spin them in a way that makes something funny. This is why sarcastic people are more interesting and can deal with the situations. They can turn a serious conversation into a sarcastic one. Sarcastic people can make anyone comfortable around them. Power of sunlight. Have you ever noticed you feel down when you've been inside all day? But when you walk outside, your mood instantly changes. Sunlight isn't just good for your bones, it can actually prevent mood disorders like depression and anxiety. The vitamin D you get from the sun acts as a mood stabilizer and releases pleasure hormones in your brain. That's why people in countries with less sunlight are more likely to be depressed. All you need is 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight to literally, figuratively brighten up your mood. The oversleeper paradox. After sleeping for 10 to 11 hours, how do you feel? You gave your brain plenty of time to relax and detoxify, yet somehow you feel tired, almost like you don't sleep enough. Sleeping too much is just as detrimental as not sleeping enough. It will leave you feeling foggy and fatigued because it throws off your biological clock. Imagine you're trying to do a flip, and if you don't flip enough, you fall. And when you flip too much, the same thing happens. You have to hit it just right. Sleeping works the same way. The only way to avoid feeling tired is to sleep the perfect amount. Creative mind wanders. The mind wanders and it annoys the heck out of neuroscientists, particularly during scientific studies. 70% to 30% of the time, your mind wanders, which depends on your surroundings and activities. So don't think that your mind doesn't wander. For example, driving long distances on a straight highway tends to be the perfect opportunity for mind wandering. This can be useful, especially if different parts of your brain have the opportunity to work on different problems. But zoning out can also make you unproductive, much like fabled multitasking. Even though we're usually not aware when this mind wandering happens, we can be aware of certain triggers that makes this behaviour more likely, such as surfing on the internet or attending yet another meeting that could have been an email. Brain dominance. Has someone ever called you right brain or left brain? As we know, the brain is divided into two hemispheres, right and left, each of which handles a variety of cognitive processes. The right brain is typically associated with linear thinking and quantitative reasoning, while the left brain is associated with creative and emotional intelligence. Most people consider themselves right brain dominant, while artistic people see themselves as left brain dominant. But the truth is, one side of your brain doesn't dominate the other side of the brain. Both sides of the brain work constantly in tandem so that you can think, create and navigate the world. No matter which personality traits you have, the simple fact is your brain works like everyone else's. Creative question. Asking questions is surprisingly a rare psychological talent. It required a creative mind capable of thinking out of the box and forming rapid connections between new and old pieces of information. Therefore, asking questions can be a powerful exercise for your brain. By recognizing things you don't realize, you not only learn more information, but you also improve your ability to recognize gaps in your understanding. But most of the people are shy when it comes to asking questions. They have so many questions in their mind, but they think that their question is not logical, so they decide to sit back. So ask a lot of questions, because the smarter people always do. Preparation hurts and looming deadlines. In life, we learn that preparation is good. People who are prepared are more likely to succeed, and most of the time, that's the truth. And there is such a thing as preparing too much, as studies show that creating backup plans actually sabotages your chance of success. And why is that? Because you're assuming that your actual plan is going to fail. Even if you have a sliver of doubt, that sliver can undermine your confidence and bring your actual plan crashing down. Looming deadlines are the powerful psychological motivator when you're running out of time. You can use deadlines to quicken the performance of your brain, forcing you to either fail or rise to the occasion. But some deadlines are more effective motivators than others. In fact, the language of deadlines can impact how motivating it sounds. Imagine that you tell someone that, "I need a presentation in a month." They feel like they have a lot of time, which leads them to laziness and procrastination. But if you say, "I need a presentation in 30 days, it creates significantly more pressure. The time frame hasn't changed, but the difference of language fools your brain into working hard. Emotional success. Most of the people see cognitive intelligence as one of the most important personality traits. Cognitive intelligence describes your ability to solve problems, apply logic and learn. And these skills are used every day. But in our world, cognitive intelligence is not the most accurate predictor of success. Emotional intelligence is your ability to understand and empathize with other people. In fact, many of the most successful people in the world have surprisingly average IQs. Ultimately, it's not their cognitive intelligence that brought them success, but their strong understanding of human emotion. Music changes perception. The type of music you listen to actually affects how you see the world around you. Music can instantly change your mood. An upbeat song can leave you feeling on top of the world, while a sad song can send you into a downward spiral. When you hear one thing through your ears, your brain will expect to see something similar through the eyes. This is why music can improve a workout or help after a breakup. It sets the tone by creating that perpetual expectation. Thank you for watching.